Hello there! Well, Christmas is just around the corner. Oh, and don't forget, so's my brand new series of Art Attack starting in January. But to keep you going until then, here are a few more Art Attack Christmas crackers. Right then, are you expecting lots of Christmas presents this year? Good, because what you need is a chunky Christmas stocking. Take a large newspaper, now you need about 10 sheets, lay them down flat and on them draw a huge Christmas stocking. I'll show you the perfect design for a huge Christmas stocking. Take a large dinner plate, draw around it once, move it down, draw around it twice and then move it diagonally to the left, draw around it again and then use this shape as a guide to draw your Christmas stocking. Now, this is one for you. It's a nice big chunky one. If you want to do one for someone else to give them their present, you could always do it on a comic and just draw around a saucer. Keep it nice and small. And when you've done that, when you've done your stocking shape, just staple together that right-hand edge a couple of times, just a couple of staplers in there, because the idea is you want to cut that stocking shape out so you have something that looks like a rather large, chunky Christmas stocking. And then go around the rest of the edge of the stocking with your stapler, stapling as you're going. And the idea is to create a really strong stocking. Now, you can actually tape this together, but it's much stronger if you staple it. And if you haven't got a stapler, try and borrow one. Maybe you could even borrow one from school, take it into school to do. Much better with a stapler. And when you've gone all the way round, it'll look like this. But don't do that top edge, because what you've got to do is you've got to split it into 2 sheets of 5 either side and push your hand down into the middle of your stocking just to puff it out into shape, make it nice and chunky, and then just lay it down and take one of these plastic bin liners and again put your hand inside the bin liner to the bottom, and the idea is to do what you do with the turkey. Stuff it, but not with stuffing. Stuff it with the bin liner. Push it all the way down to the bottom of your stocking. Get it right down inside the toe there. I'm having trouble doing this. That's it, all the way down inside your stocking. And then just fold it over at the top, just that top edge. And the idea is to create a turnover in your stocking. So just fold that top edge back on itself like that. And then just tape it into place. And it can be a little tricky to do, so take some time over it. As usual on Art Attack, you remember what it's like. I do these things really quickly just to show you, but you can do it nice and neatly. And when you've got your turnover nicely taped down, just lay your stocking down and take a piece of sticky tack and a sharp pencil and just pierce a hole through all of those sheets of newspaper just underneath the turnover, about 2 centimetres from the back of your stocking, like that. Push your pencil all the way through and then just thread a piece of string through like that, because you want to hang it up a little later on. And then lay your stocking down and attach to your stocking some Christmassy shapes that you've cut out of a cardboard box. Things like stars. I've just got some tape on that. You could glue them into place. Some stars and some holly shapes. Anything that's remotely Christmassy. Put it all on. The more the merrier. And then, one more time, stuff it. This time with newspaper. And the more newspaper you put in here, the fatter the stocking gets, and the more presents you'll get inside the stocking. And then lay it down. Mix some PVA glue, you know, the old school glue, the white glue you get in the squidgy bottles, 2 parts glue, 1 part water, and slop it all over your stocking, all over your cardboard designs, and all over each side of the stocking. And it might be a good idea to do one side at a time for this. And you know what I'm going to do with this. You've seen me do this sort of thing before. You just lay in some kitchen roll to create a papier-mâché. Just lay it onto your stocking, put more glue on the top. Again, the more glue, the merrier. And the idea is to cover it in 2 layers of kitchen roll, go over all your designs, all the stocking back and front, and you could even tuck it down inside the stocking a bit, but don't go all the way down inside. And you see now why I put that bin liner inside. It gives it a waterproof lining, so all the pieces of newspaper don't stick together. And when you've covered it in 2 layers of kitchen roll, or you could do it in newspaper, you'll have something that looks like this. And look at that, it's gone rock hard and it's ready to paint. But before you paint it, just take the string out and draw on a Christmassy design. I'm just going to do a couple of things here. What about doing the toe? Because in those cartoon socks you always get the toe with its stitching, and you always get a patch on the heel, so I'll just do that down there. And you could always draw around your shapes like your holly and your star. And do you know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to do some polka dots on here, or sort of comic-y snowflakes. And it's just as a guide at the moment, it doesn't have to be neat, because you're going to paint it. Paint it nice Christmassy colours, which are usually red and green, aren't they? Maybe a bit of yellow or gold and silver if you can get hold of any. And just slop your paint on. Again, it's probably a good idea to do it one colour, like I'm doing this red, and then do all your designs, like your holly and your stars, and maybe the tip of your sock, in a different colour. And just slop your paint on, acrylic or poster paint, and you can decorate it however you like. And when you've done it, you've got something that looks like that. Look at that, nicely brightly painted, and I've even gone around the detail with a black outline. I've got my snowflakes or my polka dots. I've done a yellow star with some gold glitter on it, and look at this, this is nice and Christmassy, some Christmas tinsel, and on the back here I've threaded through some ribbon to hang it up. And then the big moment. It's just a case of taking the stuffing out, because you know what we want to replace the stuffing with? Presents, loads of them. So you just hang up your Christmas stocking and then wait. Try it yourself. A chunky Christmas stocking.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Season's greetings from the head. Now, to get your festive stocking shape, draw around a plate onto newspaper, one circle on top of the other, with one diagonally off to the left at the bottom. Then use these as a guide to draw your stocking and go merrily on your way. Jingle bells, jingle all the way.
Hey, what's the worst thing that could possibly happen at Christmas? It doesn't snow? You burn the Christmas dinner? Or what about you can't find Santa's grotto? Well, believe it or not, that is what nearly happened to me. It all started when I brought the Art Attack team to New York recently to make an Art Attack big picture. Well, here I am, Christmas in New York, and it's amazing. This place is huge. In New York, everything is huge. The buildings are enough to make you dizzy. The cars are massive. And the street numbers, look at that. And Christmas is everywhere.
And these have just got to be the biggest Christmas tree decorations you've ever seen.
And only in New York would they wrap up an entire building like a Christmas present.
And listen to this. There's music everywhere on the streets. And the windows are fantastic.
Everything is big. Attention! Of course, while I was in New York, I just had to do some Christmas shopping. And where better to start than a famous toy store?
And look at this. The biggest Christmas wreath in the whole world. And what does the B stand for? Big!
You know, while I'm doing some Christmas shopping in one of the biggest and best stores in the whole world, I've got to do it, haven't I? I've got to go and visit the big man himself, Father Christmas. There's one of his helpers there. I think he's through here, through the crystal cave.
Look at this, look, it's beautiful. Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas.
Ah, he's through here. Santa's grotto.
Huh. But little did I know, I was about to get one Christmas surprise I hadn't bargained for.
Hey? I don't believe it.
Santa is off feeding the reindeer? It's Christmas. I'm in New York, and there's no Santa. There's only one thing for it. A big heart attack. By now, it was dark, and I had to figure out what to use to make my big heart attack out of. So I had to look around. New York by night is fantastic. A real fantasy land. There are lights everywhere. I knew I had to make something really special, but I just couldn't think what to do.
There's got to be something somewhere in New York that I can make a big picture with. That's it. It's down there.
It was at that moment I had the idea.
It's obvious.
Well, it was obvious to me. So then I had to find exactly the right spot to do my big heart attack. So the very next day, I set about finding it. I walked the streets of New York. I knew exactly what I was looking for, because this heart attack had to be really special. This was going to be the biggest picture I've ever done. But could I find the place to do it?
Nope, not right.
So I tried somewhere else.
I wonder what it's like the other side. Let's find out.
So I tried the other side of the river. And it was there I found the place with the perfect view.
This is it. This is it. This is perfect. Yes. Right. I've found the right location. Now I've got to do some planning.
That's it. I think this is going to work. Look at this. This is the picture I'm going to try and do. And where am I going to do it?
Over there.
So I was almost in business. I had my picture, I had the place to do it, but then I had to set up a lot of appointments, because one of my biggest problems was getting permission to do the big heart attack. So I had to make a formal request in writing to the top man in New York, the mayor. I delivered my letter first thing next morning, and then all I had to do was sit and wait for his call. Hello? Yeah, put him through. Hi. Brilliant. Thank you. Will you thank him for me? Excellent. Cheers. The mayor said yes. We're on. But I also knew I was going to need help from the people behind the power of New York. So I arranged to meet the head of the electricity company to discuss the plan.
Hey, Joe. So, okay, Joe, how much of New York's power is actually generated here in this pen?
This is a 44 megawatt station,
And what's the total?
about 9,000.
Okay, now, you may think I'm nuts, but I need to access the system. I need to get right inside and take some of it out. Is that possible?
How much?
Probably all of it to start with.
As long as we don't cause any blackouts or no one loses power.
Can I
Sure,
lean on here?
Sure,
Is
let's
that
see
all
what you
right?
have.
Okay, Joe, this is the plan. What I want to do is to turn this area here into a reindeer's leg.
Reindeer's leg over here.
I think Joe thought I was slightly mad, so I had to convince him that the whole plan would work. Eventually, he came round to my way of thinking. but we weren't home and dry yet.
We're going to have to be careful. That could cause a dip in the network.
Is it achievable though?
We can do it. Let's do it.
So, all we got to do now is wait for it to get a little bit darker and the right moment.
And so we waited, and waited, and waited. As darkness started to fall over New York, slowly the lights in the buildings came on. And so the Art Attack team set up for the big moment.
Excellent. Right, okay. Brilliant, fantastic. Okay, thank you. We're on! Hey! I've just had a call from the electricity board and we could be on in about an hour. Excellent.
Just time for one final briefing.
I don't think that leg will show. I don't think you'll... Oh, it'll be all right. It'll be all right. Fingers crossed. Oh, here we go. Oh, hang on. Hello. Yeah, hi, Joe, yeah. Yeah, we're freezing. Oh, brilliant. Well, yeah, I think it's the big moment too. Are we ready? All right, I'll tell you what I want you to do, Joe. I want you to take the lights out and I'm going to count to 5 and then bring them back on, okay? Are you ready? Are we ready? Here we go. We're going. We're going. Look at that. Look at that. There they go. Oh, okay, here we go. Here we go. Right, this is it. Okay, Joe. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Go on, Joe. Go on, Joe. It's gonna work. It's gonna work. Go on, Joe.
Yeah! Woo! Woo! Yeah! Woo! There he is, Santa Claus in New York. Worth all the effort, eh? Hey, everyone. Now, there's too many people to thank, so I'm just going to say Happy Christmas from New York. Happy Christmas!
Hey, wowee, that was real cool. A very special Christmas art attack. Gee whiz.
How about this? A Christmas card that you don't even have to open to see what's on the inside. You just look through the window. Look at that. Brilliant effect, isn't it? Just take a nice big piece of thin card or thick paper, a nice Christmassy colour like red or green, fold it in half to make a very simple card. And then take one of these see-through margarine lids. Now, I don't know whether you've ever noticed, but on these see-through margarine lids, you've got this lip that runs around the outside that's much wider than this raised rim. Now, the idea is I want to draw around that raised rim. So just place it in the middle of your card, turn it over with the rim on the bottom, and then just slip your pencil underneath the lip and draw around the rim. Just doing it very carefully. You have to be quite accurate with this and quite neat. So just going around in pencil. So there we are. And you've got something that looks like that. And the idea is to cut this area out. Now, if you're cutting cardboard, you might need to pop your pencil through first to get you started. Cut it out as neatly as you can, and you'll have something that looks like that. And that is the start of your window. And then cut out a picture of a Christmassy scene from a magazine, or you could use one of last year's Christmas cards, and just cut it to fit the inside of your card, and just glue it into place so that you can see it through the gap in the window. And then take a piece of Christmas wrapping up paper, something that's got a really good pattern on it, and draw around the bottom of your card onto the Christmas wrapping up paper and cut it out so that you have a shape that fits the bottom of your card perfectly, like that. And then take a different coloured piece of Christmas wrapping up paper, something like that this time, and then using your see-through margarine lid as a guide for the window, place that in the middle and just draw a set of curtains around it. So I'm just using a felt tip pen here to draw a pelmet on the top, and then 2 nice fat curtains down the side. It's very important that you use 2 different coloured pieces of Christmas wrapping up paper. So there they go, curtains down the side like that. And then you cut those curtains out, and you have something that looks like that. There it is. And then bring your card back in, and the idea is to stick that bottom piece of Christmas wrapping up paper onto the bottom of the card to make it look like wallpaper, and the curtains wrapping up paper on the top like that, in position to make it look like curtains. And when you've done that, you've got something that looks like this. And look at that. What I've done here is I've even created some Christmas decorations in felt tip pen and just coloured them in with paint. And I've gone around all the detail here with black permanent marker just to make it stand out. And it looks really bold and striking. And then design your window. Again, take your see-through margarine lid and put it face down, and then take a black permanent marker. Best to do it with permanent marker because it goes on very easily onto your margarine lid. Now I'm going to do those lattice design windows, you know, the sort of criss-cross design. I think they look really Christmassy. You can use a ruler to do this if you want. I'm just going to do it very carefully here. I like doing things freehand now. I think they look a lot more, well, freehand really. There we are. There's your windows in, and then you could take a silver pen and you could just put little bits of snow where the snow is collected in these lattice windows. You used to see these lattice windows on the old-fashioned shops. Not that I remember the old-fashioned shops, of course. And then you could always put some snowflakes in, like that, and a bit of snow that's collected on the back. Now, you must also go around your window frame with your black permanent marker, and it's quite difficult to dig it in to all those nooks and crannies. I've tried there to get it right in, and from the front, it looks quite neat. But you could always use black acrylic paint for that if you can't get your pen in. And when it's finished, you do it all neatly, and it looks like that. And then you just put on some dabs of glue around the edge of that lip. Just put a couple of little dabs on to show you. Just do it very quickly. Just dabbing on the old PVA glue. It's the best glue to use for this. I think it's the best glue to use for everything. Very versatile. I love it myself, PVA glue. Just the ordinary school glue. Get in the white squidgy bottles. And then bring your card back in and open it out like that and pop the window in from the back. And it should be a perfect fit. In it goes from the back, sort of popping it in from the back of the front, if you get my meaning. And just press it into position there like that, very carefully. And you could write a nice Christmas message on the inside as well. And there it is. I think that looks absolutely fantastic. And if you haven't got any Christmas wrapping up paper, you could always do your own design on the front of your card and colour it in with poster paint or even your felt tip pens. Try it yourself. A Christmas card that you can see through.
And that is a right clever idea. Now, it's important to remember to turn your margarine lid over and draw around the narrower rim, not the wider lip, to get the right size for your window hole. And if you're using one of those permanent pens, open a window, because between you and me they don't half whiff a bit. And the rest is easy! Marvellously magnificent, merry margarine lid cards! Merry Christmas! Hey!
Well, that's it. A few more Christmassy ideas for you. Try them yourself, and I'll meet you back here in January for a brand new series of Art Attack. Until then, have a cracking Christmas. Ta-ra!